Yeah, today I wanted to talk success and attitude. And to start with, wanted to share a toy they used to use in the Victorian era, which was called a Thor trope. And a Thor trope, basically you drew a drawing on one side, a drawing on another, and then spinning it would join them together. So my version of that has got this one. Imagine we've got life on one side, we have choices on another. But when you spin them, it blends them as one. And the reason I share this is because quite often people can look at life as being pre their choices. They react to life and then make their choices, versus seeing that actually you can make those choices with a great attitude in spite of what's happening around you. Now this ties into a guy called Epictetus. I'm going to talk him twice briefly tonight. He was born in Turkey, he was a slave in Rome, banished for his theories and philosophies, and it was him that came up with the concept that you can't control your external environment, but what you always can control is what you do about it. It's not what happens that's important, it's how you choose to respond. And so it's kind of tied in definitely to that theme of attitude. You know, having a great temperament is very appealing to people around you. If you have a temper tantrum, maybe not so. It can be a bit of a turn-off. So it's a very important piece to capture our attitude. The other thing is, I guess, is that attitude, people that are successful don't necessarily look at life as all strawberries and cream or all plain sailing. You can have days that aren't ideal. You can have days that are not perfect, days that might not be great. And yet it's how you look at viewing that and resolving the problems around that. It's untangling the problem and then come up with solutions. Surround yourself with people that help you do the same. And so it's really learning to flip the switch on your own thinking is how you master your own attitude. Now, I know when I did the book, you know, the Ignite Your Potential, the book, the tarot, the traditional tarot card that's relatable to this is the sun. And that's because the sun itself, the sun comes out at dawn and comes out and lights up after intense darkness. And that's one of the reasons then there's also a child on the traditional tarot, being that innocence of an optimistic attitude by default. And in our version on attitude, it's the same, with the eagle kind of grabbing that attitude. The eagle was always the most divine animal spiritually because it could climb to such great heights. So by grabbing your attitude, you can really get to amazing heights. You know, and you know, it's whether life's good or bad. Sometimes life's a little bit mundane, and that's where you can even look around you for inspiration with your attitude. One example I talked of is a calculator. A simple calculator is a great reminder. If it's sitting on your desk at work, just look at the buttons on it. Look at the multiplication, the division button. It reminds you that with an attitude of collaboration and leveraging your strengths or weaknesses and collaborating with people on theirs, you will get more done. If you look at the plus or minus button on a calculator, it's not doing 100 things differently every day that will give you great success. Often it's doing one thing differently better or one thing less better is what is that path to success. And that's all your attitude as well. Now the poet May Sarton would talk about attitude as well. An important part is a great sense of humor and having a sense of humor. You know, and that you should have some play and foolishness every day to relieve the order of stuff and the structure of stuff. And I concur with that. That's why I have my own toy here, Sully, who sits on my couch normally at home. And from Monsters Inc., think about that with attitude. They discover the whole movie's about making people's screams powerful, but making them smile is 10 times more powerful, and harnessing that energy of laughter and a sense of humor. And if I come full circle, I started talking about Epictetus. Another game that came around and was invented at the time he was in Rome is a game you would know as Tic Tac Toe. And I've got one drawn up here. You think about Tic Tac Toe would do with attitude as well, because you're always playing Tic Tac Toe in your head. You're always playing it in your own mind. I know the camera's flipped there, but it's always your move. It is always your choice as to the state of mind you're in. And so you get to fill in that grid and win with your attitude all the time, because attitude is absolutely one of the core principles of success and something you master yourself.